What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web on a victory Monday after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Tennessee Titans 29-7. I get it. It's a preseason game, but don't really care at this point. Want to hear from you tonight. 3 things. Let's get them out of the way so the roommates don't bitch and everybody else around the world doesn't bitch. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, analyst of the Sports Web, coming up here in just a couple moments. At 8:30, we will have the great Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast. As is it football season yet? Because the Rays get swept by the Seattle Mariners. So I guess the question for the night is, have you given up on the Tampa Bay Rays at this juncture? Have you given up? I think we're kind of looking forward to 2026 at this point, right? But give me a call. Phone lines are open. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. At 9 o'clock, we will have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. This edition of the Sports Web brought to you by Up the Block Barbershop. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop. Whether you want a haircut, a fade, a beard trim, you got to look right when you're on camera, especially out at Raymond James Stadium, 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. Go see my favorite barber, Ricky, and tell him the Rolex reporter, Peter Blake, sent you. It's Up the Block Barbershop right there. So there we go. We got that out of the way. Of course, I want to hear from you Bucs fans tonight, your initial thoughts, because I know everybody didn't necessarily stay up for the post-game show as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of business. Kyle Trask leading the way, 12 for 16, probably his best game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So what do you think about that? Does that now give you confidence that he is going to be the backup, or do you think, like I do, that Teddy Bridgewater will still be the backup for this team? Again, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What stood out about the win last Saturday night against the Titans for you? Who stood out? Was it Sean Tucker? Was it Nick Jackson? What were the negatives in your opinion? Was it Chris Braswell? Was it the defense not able to get off the field? We'll talk to you about it here on a Victory Monday. Let's go out to our webheads here. Let's go out to Roger Shue first, as always.
Acknowledge me.
And we will acknowledge that you're going to troll us tonight, so we'll get that out of the way.
This guy sucks.
Shut up!
By the way, if I seem a little bit spicy tonight, it's because I didn't necessarily have the best day at Policy Scout. In fact, let me go ahead and recreate the day for you. Hello, Esther. Goodbye, Esther. Hello, Gertrude. Goodbye, Gertrude.
I'm cleaning up the suck right there.
So that was the kind of day it was today, a Policy Scout. So, guys, please fill the phone lines up tonight because I don't want to hear crickets. And definitely don't want to deal with nonsense tonight. Not in the mood for it. Nope. Certainly not. All right, let's go out to Roger Shue again. Hit like and subscribe. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
The Sports Web on YouTube. Like and subscribe. YouTube, Super Chats, and of course, friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. There you go. LFG, I like it to start.
Wait up, little boy. Stop.
Wait up. I like it. I like it.
How about them Bucs, baby?
I like it. There we go right there. Christopher O'Reilly says, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you.
Yes! Yes!
Let's go out to Tim here. What's up? What's up with you?
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Risa, JoJo White. Peter, you are the man. No, you are the man. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Raw is on. Hurry this up. Don't start with me on this nonsense. And Eric says, hey, Peter, not doing good. Can I call in later? Yes, you can, my friend. Hopefully you do better.
Yes! Yes!
Let's see here. Roger Shue says Rays are cooked. I think a lot of people believe that. A lot of Rays fans feel like that. Of course, I'm going to give credit to where credit is due. My co-host, because I'm the eternal optimist on this show. I haven't given up yet, but I'm kind of there at this point. I'm going to ask Bushman if he's there. Harry the Greek said it best, that this team was not going to make the playoffs. They're not that good. And certainly they have showed it is caught up with them, whether it's the injury situation, whether it was the players they picked up in the trade deadline. Nothing has worked for this Rays team. And of course, they've been on the road. So that's also caught up with them.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Exactly, Tom. It is. We'll go to Instagram Live right now as we are on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, and of course, Twitter, X, whatever the heck they call it this week. I don't know what it is. Let's go out to Ed right there. Hey, Peter the Great, thank you very much for tuning in. As always. By the way, did you like that little recreation there, Roger, a policy scout today? Because that's what it was like, although you had a good day. So congratulations to you. Once in a great year, you have a good year there, Tribal Troll. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's see here. Guide to ensure, policy scout. Who gives a damn? I couldn't do anything today. Couldn't talk to anybody today. Who gives a damn?
That's good enough to suck right there.
Here, I'll give him a JP.
F you, F you, F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
Exactly. Wish I could after that day. All right, let's get out to our co-host here, professional handicapper extraordinaire, analyst himself, Mr. Harry the Greek. All right, Harry the Greek, what's going on? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business, my friend. What's going on? How you doing?
Not too bad, man. Football season has officially begun, even though it's the preseason.
It is the preseason, yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that, as we watched a little Chicago Bears. By the way, how does your camera look? Let's take a look at this. Is this your camera or is this your webcam?
Webcam today.
Oh, webcam today. So I did go and fix your camera. We did watch the Bears preseason. An egregious call by the refs in great form, in season form, with missing a pass interference. Clearly a pass interference penalty that screwed the Chicago Bears. Great job, refs. You are doing just a heck of a job, as always.
Well,
yes.
I guess that's why they I guess that's why it's preseason. You know, I mean, it's they're not drafted refs yet.
They need to suspend them. If you miss a call like that, you should be suspended. It's egregious. The guy is looking back. He's clearly face guarding at the end of the day. He's putting his hands on the wide receiver. The rule clearly states you can't put your hands on a wide receiver after 15 yards. You can't sneeze on a wide receiver after 15 yards. It should be called a penalty. Call it the way it is. You call it the whole game. Don't swallow the whistle at a critical time. All right, enough of that. So, your thoughts on the Bucs win over the Titans 29-7 on Saturday night?
Preseason. Don't put too much water into it. Tampa made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
The score didn't indicate it. Kyle Trask looked pretty good in that game. We're going to get a chance to see possibly what Teddy Bridgewater is going to do. I haven't heard whether or not he is going to play in the next game or not.
Right.
But I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with that.
Well, Todd Bowles has come out and said some starters may play, some starters may not play versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, preseason is not all about evaluation. It's all about staying healthy. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do that with Rachaad White going out with a groin injury. This is what Todd Bowles had to say. He's got a groin. He's day-to-day. He did come out to Bucs practice on Monday, but did not participate. He stood off to the side wearing his jersey with a hat instead of a helmet. He seemed to be walking okay without too much restraint. hopefully the Bucs were able to come relatively unscathed. Of course, that's what it's all about. But an injury like that to White, I think the Bucs, knock on wood here, dodged the bullet, because it certainly seemed like it could have been a lot worse than what it is. If it's day-to-day, then most likely it's a strain, because you lose White. White can do so much in this offense. I get it. Bucky Irving is the clear starter, but he's the guy that, will pass protect, will be able to catch out of the backfield, will also help you on third down. So looks like the Bucs dodged a bullet there, Harry.
Absolutely. But again, it's preseason. They got to get through these next couple of games before the season starts and let the games begin. The only thing I would have liked to have seen, and something I didn't understand, is why weren't the starters playing for either one of these two teams? New offensive coordinators. In Chicago's case, he has a brand new head coach. But you know what I did notice in that Chicago game, Pete?
What'd you notice?
I noticed that Ben Johnson had a control of that sideline. There was no anticipation. There was no confusion. Oh, am I supposed to do this? It looked like he had been out there for a very, very long time. And I'm kind of surprised that neither you or Ray, when you guys were watching the game, even made that comment. They kept going back and forth. He was shooting out plays, called the timeouts when he was supposed to. It just looked like a head coach that's been out there for a long time.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for your Bears. That's a good thing for the organization going forward, because if he can do anything that he did with the Lions, which is, have that success on offense and be able to duplicate that with Caleb Williams and the rest of those weapons, then you will be in business. Let me go out to our friend here who's starting to really troll me a lot, so I got to troll him back. Nicholas Kosimitis, I think that's his name. What has Todd Bowles done to improve his coaching and leadership skills? Well, I don't know. You tell me what he's done, because obviously.
First off, he's a fellow Greek.
Well, I don't care. Is he a Greek guy?
Oh.
He's a jackass.
He's a Greek guy, buddy. Be careful.
He's a jackass. That's what he is.
Why?
Because he's a jackass. Because if he acts like a jackass, he's going to be treated like a jackass. He doesn't like it, call in. Call in 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
Nico Kosmidis.
I don't care.
He's asking for a reason, because he wants to know what Todd Bowles has done that's going to be better than what
we lose games in overtime, last seconds of the game. What will we do? Well, to answer your question, genius, if you've been watching the show, genius, you would have known that they hired somebody from Jacksonville to take care of that stuff. But see, you want to troll and you want to mess around with somebody that's kind of pissed off already on a Monday night. So go ahead and go ahead and go down that road, my friend. He says, last one we won the Super Bowl, I think will the Jags have a better record than the Bucs? No. The Bucs will not. The Jaguars will not have a better record than the Bucs. I will bet you on that, okay? So take your Liam Cohen, Duval love, and get the hell out of here.
That's good enough for suck right there.
Duval.
I don't care. Don't care. The Jacksonville Jaguars, that coach will be gone in 3 years. Let me tell you something. I don't care how much of a love affair you guys got with Mr. Duval. Kosimitis.
Get it right.
Kosimitis his ass out of here. Let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution.
My brothers. How the hell are you guys?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Well, I hear you're pissed off right now. I'm trying to see what the hell is going on.
Oh, it's just he's trolling me, and then I didn't necessarily have the best day at work. So, this is what I do. This is my, what's it called? My woosah.
Is this cathartic for you, Pete?
Yes, it is cathartic. That's the word I'm looking for.
What's up, my brother? Hold on, Harry. I'm going to get to you in a second.
Yes.
Pete, what is he here? What is he trolling you about?
Oh, he's just always trolling. He's on all my Facebook posts.
No. I want to know what he's trolling about. Because I'm an asshole. Excuse my French.
That's all right.
And
we speak a lot of French on this show.
And
we've been there.
Opinion.
Right.
And I have an opinion. So tell me what's going on.
No, he just wants to talk about Todd Bowles. What has Todd Bowles done and this and that and the other thing. And he's got it on a couple of my posts and says, all you show is your Rolex. There's my Rolex right there. You're jealous of it. You can't have it. Suck it. There you go.
You know what?
In Greek, we say, Pete, Mikanis Malakias.
Yeah, he is a Malaka. That's for sure.
Peter.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you just for 2 or 3 minutes.
Go for it.
So let me have the floor with Harry.
Go ahead. Do it.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
My brother. How long have you been watching football?
God, don't make me date myself, please.
Let's just give it a rough estimate. Because I'm trying to let Peter just, calm down for a second, not talk, but just listen.
Watching the game as a fan.
Yeah.
God, since I've been a kid, watching it from the objective of handicapping and sports wagering. 35 years.
Okay. So I'm going to take Harry's 35 years. Curtis is only 39 years old. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this. I've been watching football since I remember my very first experience with NFL was the Patriots and the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl when Brett Favre played Drew Bledsoe.
Okay.
That was my very first experience. And I've been a Bucs fan since I've moved to Florida when I was about 8, 9 years old. So I'm going to say this. Everything that I have been through as a Bucs fan, Harry is a Bears fan, so he can also talk about the Bucs. And I will never go against Harry for the Bucs because he's been a Bears fan, and the Bucs and the Bears were in the same damn division for a long time. And even as a Bucs fan, I still remember my old division with the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. So I still watch those 4 teams because I'm old school. I believe in the old divisions. I love the old divisions. Now, this guy is trolling my man Peter. Harry, tell me this. Todd Bowles is not the perfect coach. There is no such thing as the perfect coach. But in Buccaneers history, I'm going to just say this. Who has won more division titles as a Bucs head coach than Todd Bowles?
Exactly. Todd Bowles would have something to say about that.
It's exciting.
Exactly. There you go. 3 straight NFC South titles right there.
Because here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Even as great as that 2002 Super Bowl team was, and as great as Tony Dungy was, Tony Dungy didn't do that.
Nope.
The GM with Tony Dungy didn't. Who was the GM with Tony Dungy?
Okay, in all fairness, how long was Tony Dungy here?
Since
Tony
96.
Dungy was there
96.
6 years.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. It was the Glazers' fault and it was Dungy's fault. Because like they said, Dungy, he didn't hold the offense as accountable as he held the defense. And when you're a coach, you're the coach of the whole team, not just part of the team. Okay.
And you know, I gotta say, Curtis, and that's a pretty astute, opinion that you had there. And you're right. Tony Dungy did hold his defense a lot more accountable than he did the offense. But isn't it ironic that the past 3 years, almost 3 years, that this Bucs defense has been just trying to get out of the cellar because of the injuries and the whole 9 yards, but yet the offense was always very productive. And albeit they've been winning these divisions when they weren't even supposed to win these divisions. They weren't even supposed to win 6 ball games for 2 consecutive seasons, and nobody was given love to this Tampa market, especially with the Buccaneers. Yep. Now, all of a sudden, because Baker signed the contract, now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are starting to get all this attention on public media, and all the pundits, the vast majority of them, even Peter will recognize that they're all jumping on this bandwagon. And there's nothing wrong with that. We welcome the bandwagoners.
Absolutely.
The point I'm trying to make is people don't realize that this team was set up to win after Bruce Arians left, and everybody wanted the offensive coordinator, which I don't like bringing up his name because I never personally liked him. Okay, we were better off with a Todd Bowles.
How about them Bucs, baby?
I don't want to talk about a Byron Leftwich, but this team was better off with the defensive-minded coach, and he does it the right way because he puts somebody in that position to run his offense. And he leaves it alone because he knows that is not his forte. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a top 10 offense the last how many years, Pete?
Well, it's last couple of years here, right? They had the top 3 last year, and then Canals wasn't as good as Liam.
Wasn't that bad,
right? Wasn't that great though?
Wasn't as bad, but then Liam Cohen inherited an offense that was better because it had more. And not because of the players. The players had another year into the system, not in the system, but into the team.
Right.
It had no choice. They weren't a bunch of rookies.
Right.
I'm going to tell you now, I think had Canales stayed with this organization, you might have been talking a possible Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm not ready to say that. I'm definitely.
I'm not kidding you, Pete, because it's just from the level of experience. How long was Canales here, Pete?
Well, he was here for 1 year.
Okay. And what's the difference between Canales and Idiot that went to Jacksonville?
Well, I will give him.
The difference was there was another year on this football team. There were a lot of players that were fresh coming.
Liam Cohen was also a year. So Canales was a year. Liam Cohen was a year.
Yeah, but Liam Cohen had 5 or 6 players that now had been with this team for longer. They were mending together. Plus, if you're not mistaken, Tampa had real bad problems on the offensive line 2 consecutive years, but it was a lot worse under Cohen. Can you imagine if Cohen would have had that offensive line? I just want to give you something to think about because that's what we do here in the Sports Web.
Well, and well, from my point of view, Harry and Peter,
yeah,
think about this: Super Bowl team. Who was on your defense?
Well, you had Sue, you had, of course, Shaq Barrett, you had JPP, Levante David.
Those are 3 huge veterans.
Right.
That you've been trying to replace.
Correct.
Since they've been gone.
Right.
Okay? This secondary, excuse my French, has been crap since the Super Bowl. Okay, and guess what? We all know Carlton Davis was not a top 10 corner.
Right.
He wasn't.
Right.
We all know Jamel Dean wasn't a top 10 corner.
Right.
But guess what? Over the years, this offense has been carrying the defense. And now this defense finally looks like it can stand up on its own, even though we had to get rid of a top 5 pick.
If it stays healthy, it definitely will. And this team was a top 5 team against the run last year. I just want people to just chew on that for a little while, as banged up as this team was last year. So before you go busting on Todd Bowles.
But to be fair, to that point, they were top 5 against the run because everybody else wanted to pass against them because you could pass on them because they play zone. But to that point,
not only that,
they had all kinds of things. Well,
but not only that, your secondary was beat up all last year. You had Josh Hayes and Funderburk, who have no business being starters in the National Football League. Maybe backups, but starters. I mean, they looked great. They looked great against the backups from Tennessee the other night.
Well, I mean, there you go.
They were backups playing backups.
There you go, right there, exactly.
Pete, I got to respectfully disagree with you on something there. Okay. It's not all the teams knew that they couldn't. They could pass on Tampa Bay. There's not a team in the National Football League, with the exception of maybe the Buffalo Bills, who want to pass first, to be honest with you. All teams want to be able to establish the run. And if you can establish the run, Peter, you're going to have success because it's called clock management. It's because the Buccaneers would get out to early leads, and that's why they turned around and they had to go into a passing game against them. Listen,
I would also say that this Bucs team, when it came to long 3rd down conversions last year, could not get off the field. That was the bugaboo. That was the Achilles heel for the defense. They didn't have a consistent enough pass rush, which is why they addressed this in the offseason with Hassan Reddick, and hopefully getting back Winfield Jr. healthy will help that secondary. And of course, Benjamin Moore and Parrish. So I think that's where you go.
I'm gonna say this. This is what. Listen, if anything, last year, the two games that bothered me more than any games, besides obviously the playoff game against Washington, was the Atlanta games. Because guess what? Bijan Robinson couldn't do crap.
And they tried.
They tried.
They tried.
But Kirk Cousins,
they were destroying the secondary.
Correct.
They picked them apart.
Who could forget about the 505-yard performance by Kirk Cousins?
Exactly.
In overtime.
And he still got benched.
Yes. Yep.
Well, in Kirk Cousins' defense, that guy went out there like a warrior. And again, I'm not a Kirk Cousins fan,
right?
But I am going to give credit where credit's due. This guy had no business being out on the football field, and he was out there for 6 consecutive weeks.
Agree.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this. I had a guy, and I'm sorry, I'm not on it. I don't want you to change the subject, but I'm going to change this real quick. I was at the doctor today, and there was a guy in there. He's a Packers fan, and I had on my Bucs shirt. There was another guy in there with the Bears shirt on, and he's in there giggling and laughing. I said, let me tell you something. I said, you can say whatever you want to. I said, I'm going to tell you this. That kid, Caleb Williams, because he was picking on the Bears. He was picking on the Bears guy bad. I couldn't even take it anymore. I said, that kid, Caleb Williams, showed you one thing. He is tough as freaking nails.
Yep.
Because he took that ass whooping, and he kept getting up, and he kept going out there, and he kept playing. And I'm going to tell you, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something. This offensive line, if they get it together, let's see what the Bears do to the Packers this year.
All right, Curtis.
Appreciate hang on before Curtis goes.
Yes.
There's something you didn't know, and I know you want to get out to heaven. I see my buddy in the back room.
Yes.
Let me drive this point, and you point, and then you can hang up. 350 pass attempts, 350 plus pass attempts, no picks. 70 sacks, 240 times hit, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's all I'm going to say.
Not bad.
And he took he played every single game. Now you fix that offensive line, you add another stud tight end to go with Cole Kmet, and you get probably the best, arguably the best slot receiver in the game with Luther Burden III. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. They're putting the rest of the NFC North on notice because this team fixed itself really quick.
Peter, I got one thing to tell you.
Yes, go for it.
I'm going to call back.
Yeah.
I'm already fired up. Plus, shout out to my son. He's in surgery. Well, he just dislocated his shoulder at football practice, and they gotta do a small surgery and pop it back in. But anyway, we're not worried about trolls at all.
I'm not worried about trolls. I'm just gonna troll them back, bro. That's it.
And I'm not trying to be a dick when I say screw that guy.
That's cool.
The season hasn't started.
Yep.
Everybody is 0-0-0.
Yep.
Talk to me in November.
Right.
Talk to me in November when Todd Bowles has his team in playoff contention and they're going for another division title.
There you go.
What are you going to say then?
Well, he'll still make an excuse that it's not enough. There's some Bucs fans out there just don't like Todd Bowles, don't respect Todd Bowles. It doesn't matter if he wins a division. It doesn't matter what he does at this point.
Hey, Harry, and excuses are like what?
Everybody's got one.
And everybody has one.
Curtis, appreciate the call, man. All right.
Yep.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's continue to read the comments and then we'll get out to L. Bushman because I don't want to neglect these guys. I missed the last show. I was sick. That's okay. Get better. Me, Sador, Pete in the Greek. What's up, gentlemen? What's going on with you, my friend?
Oh, yeah.
Is Harry Jimmy the Greek's nephew? Don't know. Ask him. My worry for Chicago is that Caleb holds the ball a little long. Seems like he isn't processing the information fast enough. Lamar says, aloha, Peter and Greek. How about them Bucs? Absolutely. How about them Bucs?
Wait up, little boy. Wait up.
How about them Bucs? How about them Bucs?
How about them Bucs, baby?
How about them Bucs? We're going to go out. I don't know if I said this, Eric, but we're going to go out to L. Bushman, and then we'll take your phone calls. Let's go out to David. The Bucs are a 13-win team. That dude is a clown. Agree. Duval says me, Sador. Hello, Peter and Harry. Lamar again. Peter, we need haters that make us greater. You know who you are. You're the man, the evolution, which cannot be, and you keep doing your thing. Don't worry about peasants. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
Eric says, how do you feel about John Gruden news? We could talk about that in a little bit. Deputy Kurt Pinto, appreciate you tuning in. One of the main reasons why I do this show in the first place, this guy, he was listening to talk radio, and I got into talk radio, sports talk radio overall, right there. Deputy Kurt Pinto in 7th grade. True story. Abraham, Liam Cohn will leave Jacksonville for a college position. Christopher Cole says, yo. Carl says, Dungy built the team that won the Super Bowl. We would have won it if he stayed another year. I don't believe that at all. I don't think he would have, because he was stubborn in his offense. You had Tom Moore that ran the offense, and Dungy ran the defense. So I don't agree with that at all. Eric, Dungy couldn't get over the hump. Exactly. That's why he traded for Gruden. David says, well, please tell me whoever picks our backups on defense got fired because they cost us the last 2 years there. Eric, Bulls defense won us the Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. Correct. Roger Shue says, hey, Greek. And Sin says, go Bucs all day long. Go Bucs. All right, let's get out to L. Bushman right now of the Rays Rewind podcast, which it has been like this. And the question has to be asked, Mr. L. Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast. Welcome to the Sports Web. Is it time to look forward to 2026? Welcome here on a Victory Monday.
I will answer that question on one condition.
What's up?
We don't talk anything about stadium or attendance issues.
We ain't talking anything about stadium tonight. The hell with
Sure.
we talk
100%. Yeah, it's done. It's curtains for 2025. And it just got worse because, I mean, not a shocker, but breaking news: Shane McClanahan will not be pitching this year. So,
And you want another prediction?
No, it's not a prediction. It's actual
No,
legit,
but I'm just saying, would you like another prediction?
Sure.
Tampa finishes last in this division.
At this point in time, look, you know me. I'm probably one of the most level-headed Rays fan around. And
So what are they, only 2 or 3 games ahead of Baltimore right now?
right. And, you you try to be optimistic, especially after the trade deadline and, all the moves they made, that in quotation. But yeah, it's you can pretty much put a bow on that, and that's a wrap for 2025. It's not unless there is an act of God that comes down from the baseball gods themselves. Then it's not. Yeah, I think what they need to do now, which I think they're starting to do, they brought up Pereira today. He's going to be in the lineup today too as well. I think you're going to see more of the young guys from Durham come up, get their shot, show the world what they can do, and then just kind of look forward to new ownership and a new year and new, and see what happens with in 2026. But yeah, I think I do have some inside sources that I will not name. There is a definitive date when the ink will be dry on the sale of the Rays, so that is coming up. Can't give you the date though, but it is coming up probably in the next.
Anything about a new stadium?
No, nothing yet. There are 3 proposed sites from an unnamed source that I have. There are 3 proposed sites. 2 of them won't shock you. One of them will shock you with the location, which I can't tell you yet. But 2 of them you kind of already know which they are.
All right, the location that's going to shock us, it's not in St. Pete, is it?
No, definitely not. No.
Okay. So we're talking
nothing is in it is not nothing will be in St. Pete. St. Pete is kind of like, yeah, it's done, it's over. Everything is going to be moved to Tampa.
Okay. There you go. So that's L. Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast with a little inside.
I love the backdrop though. I mean,
yeah, I've transitioned over to football. I mean, I've kind of waved the look. I know you can call me a shitty fan for not sticking it out all the way, but I've kind of transitioned to football. Yes, Harry.
You're also a realist too.
I know. I know.
Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. If you sit up there with your pom-poms and you're doing your podcast, who the hell's going to listen?
Right. That's why I have another podcast I started last week. So yeah,
When you start,
it's an all NFL show. I mean, we're talking about all the NFL storylines and prop
NFL?
bets, fantasy football. Oh yeah, man. I
bets?
gotta.
Did
yeah.
you say bet?
Bets, NFL, yeah, and fantasy football.
Bets?
It's all
Bets
good
without
stuff.
the Greeks? That's
Hey,
a really good idea.
I'll have you on as a guest, man. But I think going forward, I think this, it's kind of almost a fitting end to the Stu Sternberg era, even though the New York Times loves Stu Sternberg. I don't know if you guys read that New York Times article that came out about him last week, where they're just kind of like praising him for everything he's done. Now, look, not to take anything away from Stu Sternberg. He turned around the franchise when they were just, bottom of the barrel and made them into contender each and every year with new ways to manage a team and bring in players that are, the Moneyball-ish type of players. But, I think also too, he's done a lot of negative, especially when it comes to the impact of baseball in this area. So I think, you want to see the Rays go to the playoffs, but I think it's no, Orlando's not getting the Orlando Dreamers. No, that's just
let's put that out of there.
Put that to bed.
Orlando Dreamers. There's only one team professionally in Orlando, and that's going to be the Orlando Magic.
Right.
Okay? That's it. There's no Orlando Dreamers. There's no Orlando Rays. There's no Orlando Expos, X-Rays, whatever you want to call Orlando Cubs, because I know the Cubs played there for a while. There's no baseball team going to Orlando, Eric. Enough.
I would, I think this is a fitting end to the Stu Sternberg era with just the way the team has really just platooned into oblivion, the nosedive, the tailspin into the suckage that happened after the nice June that we had, where we all thought, that the team was going to be a contender and go to the playoffs, maybe have a deep
Part
run.
of May all through June.
Yeah,
I remember it.
Then the nosedive happened, and then we're just kind of.
It's something I'll never forget.
Harry, I think you can probably agree with me. I think we were all kind of just like puzzled by what the hell happened, So you still can't figure it out because nobody really knows like what happened. What happened from the time where we're
Evan. That wasn't an ebb and a flow. That was not.
Yeah.
Ebbs and flows are week to week. This was a month and a half that this team played extraordinary baseball.
Yeah.
If that was September, the team was making a run.
Right. Exactly.
A hardcore run.
It's almost like they caught fire too early, and they.
I told you about
it
and then I talked about it last week.
Yeah.
When I turned around and told you, I says there were some hidden reasons of what was going on. There's that locker room is not as joyful as what people think it is. It just hasn't come up. But where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
But Evan, I got a good question for you.
Sure.
You did watch the game with the Buccaneers, right?
Yeah, I actually did. They look good, man. Preseason.
They look pretty good. Do you think that Kyle Trask is going to have a little coming out party now?
No. No, I don't think so.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was that.
Look, we can all be superstars in the preseason. Look at Curtis Mead. So
there you go.
Oh, by the way, Curtis Mead's batting .240 for Chicago now. It's 20 points higher. He's hitting a couple of dingers. He's getting on. He's stealing bases. He's played 5 or 6 different positions. And guess what? It's because he doesn't have someone sitting in his ear trying to change 5 different things every time he's going to the plate.
Yeah.
Well, maybe so, but he still stinks. So
why? Because he doesn't play for Tampa, Pete. You got to take players like that have a ton of. Hold on.
For Tampa, he's always stunk for Tampa ever since he came for the Rays. What has he ever done with the Rays for me to sit here and say he's any good?
But hey, he was one of the top prospects. This is a point that I'm trying to make.
It doesn't mean you're guaranteed. There's been plenty of top prospects.
You're correct, Pete. Okay. But he's doing something now in a different city.
Okay,
and it has to say something about the management.
How long is it going to last?
This ball club.
I would give it time too, Harry. I mean, any guy that has a new scenery, a new change of scenery, and new coaches, you might show out for a couple of weeks and then you might drop down back to earth to where you were. So give it time. I mean, look, he can maybe do well over there and great. I think, as a Rays fan, I think we all want to see the guys that were on our team before that were traded away possibly do well, except if they get traded into a division rival, then we want to see them flame out and just suck.
The point that I was trying to make, Pete, before you got your panties in a wad there,
I didn't get my
was real simple.
I just put it out there. You wanted me to be a realist on the show about the Rays, and I gave you the reality of the situation.
Harry, joke's on you. Peter doesn't wear panties.
I didn't give you.
I know it is. That's true. I can tell.
Unicorns. I gave you the reality of the situation. What's the reality of the situation? What's his batting average when he's with the Rays?
I didn't say that, Pete.
Okay, but I am.
What you're doing, Peter.
No, I'm not missing the point. I understand.
Peter, my name is Nick Cosmides.
Okay,
I'm giving you an opinion.
That's fine.
And you missed the point, and
your
you'll
opinion
understand.
Has been stated. You stated this last week.
We'll move on, Pete. Never mind.
No, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Someone put shit in your food today. I don't know what it was.
Nobody put anything in my food at this point.
All right, fellas, let's move on from Curtis Meade.
Yeah,
really? God bless America.
I think also too. What's also great about watching them play is we've seen, just how pretty much superstar Junior Cameronero is going to be, especially in the years to come. Now, he's on pace to hit 45 home runs, which, he's getting close to Carlos Pena's record, which is pretty cool too. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
There's some cool things to still watch with this team. What I wish maybe would happen is, after this rough stretch, maybe they play a little bit better baseball, be more competitive who they're playing, because it's just now when you're watching this team, it's just almost sad to watch them play. And look, going against the Mariners, that was going to be a tough series no matter what. I don't think anybody would expected them to go in there and, be competitive against the Mariners, who look, my prediction for the World Series is the Mariners and the Brewers, man. So I just think with
Mariners a tough team.
Yeah, Mariners and the Brewers are too. So I think right now with what the Rays are, where they're at with the personnel and just the inconsistency with the playing and just overall flatness that they have and whatever's going on in the clubhouse too, it's just, it's not fun to watch the team. And if it'd be a lot better if the team was fun to watch and being competitive and losing, because then you're putting on a show. But when you're not playing good baseball, it's just almost hard to watch sometimes. So, it sucks, man. Look, we had the promise of coming in. A lot of people doubted this team too coming into 2025 is, this team wasn't going to be competitive. They did show signs of being competitive. They did. And, for a minute second of the season, they were the hottest team in baseball, a game out of the AL East, and the first spot in the wild card. And now they're just sliding further along in the standings too, almost kind of like the New York Yankees. With the Yankees, I don't know what happened to them. Good God. But with the Rays, but I think with the Rays too, it's there's a lot of question marks that are going to have to be answered. I think, especially in the offseason with the new ownership, because right now the Rays are not making the playoffs, Bobby. Geez, you have some idiot people commenting tonight, Peter. I think I'm more excited to learn about, what the game plan is with the new ownership going into 2026, because, Stu's out. There is rumblings of stadium in Tampa. They're going to possibly open the pocketbook to bring in free agents. I want to see what their game plan is about making this team into hopefully a contender in 2026.
Hey, Peter, just to let you know, you got Ray down in the back room, bud.
I
don't know if you noticed him return.
We're not going to bring in Ray tonight. Ray, we'll have you on another night. Thank you.
What?
Yep. Sorry. I'm not going to deal with it tonight. So have a great night, Ray. See you later.
Pete, seriously.
No, I'm serious. I'm not dealing with it tonight. Have a great night, Ray. We're going to talk Rays here. We're going to talk Bucs. We're going to take phone calls. Ray, will have you on another night. Didn't ask for it. Sorry. We'll go out to the comments here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean it.
Harry, it's his show, man.
I mean, seriously.
Actually, I want to ask you guys, with the news with Gruden today, how'd you guys feel about that? Vindication?
I didn't hear it. I didn't see it.
I definitely think it's vindication there. Yeah, go ahead.
Gruden won his lawsuit against the NFL. It's now going to go into litigation. So now he's probably going to get some cheddar cheese, and he'll probably be back soon in the NFL. So congrats to him. And I know the Bucs are going to put him back in the Ring of Honor this year, right?
Well, they've already done that. They've already put him in the Ring of Honor. He's already back in there.
Oh, he's back in. Okay, so I thought they're gonna have like a ceremony and stuff. So, but I think that's good for him. I mean, that's vindication for a guy that got pretty much railroaded by the NFL and social media and all that stuff when they came out with Dan Snyder and everything. So I think that's great for him and great for Bucs fans who not only loved him as a coach, he's such a great personality, especially now working with Barstool and stuff like that. So it's great, man. I'm excited for Gruden.
Well, I'm definitely excited for Gruden too, and I think it'll be a way for him to get back into.
Can you kick Eric Hardnett out of the comments section?
Eric Hardnett?
Yeah, he's saying, can the Bucs make him the OC now?
I'm sorry.
He wants. I think he's meaning Gruden. He wants Gruden to be the OC of the Bucs.
Yeah, he that's what he wants. So we're not gonna go
Does
down.
Does he not know Gruden's a defensive guy, not an offensive guy? I remember my first beer.
I want to go out to who the Rays were called because we're looking to the future. What do you know about this kid that they got from the Yankees, Pereira?
I've been wanting him to be up for the past couple of, ever since they got him in the trade, I was like, man, this kid, I watched videos of him being in the minors and just the way he plays, the way the ball launches off the bat. I'm all for it, man. This kid is, hopefully he's going to pan out to be a steal for the Rays, taking them from the Yankees. I think, he didn't get a lot of playing time because there was really no room for him on the Yankees. So I think also too, with the outfield right now that the Rays have, I think anybody is better than what they have. And he comes with a lot of power too. So I'm excited to see him in the lineup, excited to see him out in the outfield because he's a versatile guy too. You can move him around the outfield and you can put him in the middle of the order for some pop in the bat. So I'm excited for this guy. I think having this chance for them to bring up the young guys that are ready to go, I think is, also a sign of saying, hey, I think we've flown in the white flag. Because you might see Bob Seymour come up. You might see Trey Morgan. You might even see Carson Williams come up too in the next maybe month or so just to kind of showcase this, crop of new talent that they have. And, I've been looking forward to it, man. You should too.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what you got to look forward to when it comes down to it with this Rays team, the call-ups in September here. So what else, El Bushman? We want to go back to football here.
Football. Let's go back to football just for a little bit. Yeah, I'm tired. The Rays exhaust me now. It's just,
Yeah. Well, Sean Tucker looks like he's going to get more carries. In fact, Todd Bowles has kind of talked about this, saying he wants to get him more carries, saying Sean brings us another explosive runner. He's a game breaker for us. Really, he's got very good contact balance. He can break a lot of tackles. He can naturally find holes. He's very fast, but he looks so smooth doing it that you really can't tell until he gets into the open field. So with that being said, it certainly seems like, again, we've heard through the organization that they want to get Sean Tucker on. They want to get more carries to Sean Tucker. Now they have the opportunity. It looks like Rachaad White could be missing some time, although it looks like they dodged a bullet with a strained groin. So what do you make of this running back situation with Tucker, White going forward?
I love it because we saw flashes of Sean Tucker last year too when they were kind of trying to figure out that backfield with Bucky Irving coming up in the ranks. So having Sean Tucker there, who I'm glad I have him stashed in my Dynasty League, will no doubt jump over Rachaad White as the number 2 back on that backfield. I think probably Rachaad White will probably get traded this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Tucker looks good, man. He reminds me of just a bulldozer that you just push down a mountain and he just goes through people like walls, man. He's a big dude and he's just bowling over people. I love it. That's the type of running back I like to see, and especially with the run scheme that the Bucs have. He's that type of runner. I love it, man. I can't wait for him to be like a starter somewhere, starter on the Bucs. I can just pop him in my Dynasty League. Boom.
There you go. I mean, there's certainly an opportunity there that he's going to have, if he gets that opportunity, the potential. I just think he has to work on some things. And I think, White also is in a contract year. So, of course, he wants to definitely produce because I think he wants to be a starter in this league. And there's no guarantee he's going to be with the Bucs next year. So that's the reason why you have to get rid or go Go ahead and go out to Ray here, guys. Go ahead, get out to Ray Kennedy really quick. Let's go ahead and go out to him. Ray, welcome to the Evolution.
No stadium or attendance talk, Ray. But
I want to L. You talked about Caminero at third base, and the trade of Devers going out to San Francisco, and the Giants, all they were missing was that big bat. And Devers goes out there. The Red Sox get rid of a problem. He goes out there. He's literally at 17 home runs before he get the trade. 5 cents, 22. You got Junior popping 30, setting records over at third base. So even though this year is like the plays, we're still like, you want to hope for that, that Disney story to, get on a run, which I'm not saying couldn't happen. At the end of the day, we still have great things happening that keep us continue to be excited for this Rays team moving forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're never going to make a run for this, but yeah, there are things that are exciting to see. And like I said before, you're going to see a lot of the young guys that are in Durham come up. But I think the most exciting thing to see right now in the Rays lineup is definitely Junior Caminero, man. He's really stepped into that that superstar role, and depending on what happens with. I know there's a lot of things that were posted on social media this past week, especially on X, about his contract value is going up and up and up according to his agent. Well, good. And I hope new ownership comes in and says, look, we're going to pay him his money. We're going to extend him. We're going to give him that fat contract that he deserves, and rightfully so. I mean, he's performing at a high level that most 22-year-olds aren't performing at a high level like that. So yeah, I would hope the value of his contract goes up, and Rays new ownership says, here's our checkbook. This is what we're going to pay you. You deserve every single dollar bill of it. And that's that. Now, if this was old ownership where it was Stu Sternberg, yeah, you're not going to have that big type contract that they gave Wander Franco again, because of course they're gun shy about these young guys. So, but Junior definitely deserves the extension, definitely deserves big money. And I hope he gets it from the Rays, and he's with the Rays for, 8 to 10 years, or until he gets too old and they decide to trade him for prospects down the road.
I mean, it's what's got to be. They got to get that contract extension done with Junior Caminero eventually, and the more home runs he hits and the more he's producing, and that's the shame of it with this lineup. He's been very productive, so he's going to earn a big time contract. That's going to be up to the new ownership. Thank God they're going to be able to handle that, because they're most likely going to spend money at the end of it. All right, Bush, any final thoughts here on the sports web?
Keep your feet on the. No, I'm just kidding. Just make sure to tune in to the final few episodes of the Rays Rewind podcast. I'm sure we'll be dropping episodes until the final curtain calls and the final white flag is thrown into the ring, like Stallone should have done in Rocky Part 4. But then stay tuned for my new show, Between the Uprights, which we have a new episode recording on. Actually, we'll go live Wednesday night at 8:30. Between the Uprights.
L, can I just tell you real quick? And Pete, are my volume's okay? I kept my sound down.
It's fine.
With the way this season's gone and the way we kind of went off, and we knew that the entire AL East was getting better, but the way the Rays have fell back, your content's been keeping me. It's keep my ballast leveled, because at the end of the day, we want to be in it every time. But at the end of the day, we also got to remember every year there's 29 teams that don't win at all. There's 28 that don't make the series. But let's also have fun while also looking at the things that the Rays are doing to continue to improve and have success moving forward. So yeah, I thank you for that, brother, because it's helped me a little bit as I started to realize that we're not going to win the East, and we're not going to hang another one of those wild card banners over in the dome there.
I got a question for you before I leave. What are we voting you best for?
Oh,
what's this vote? Tampa Bay Ray best of the Bay. What are we voting for?
Oh, I forgot. I put it. You know that in 2019 I was voted. I won best of the Bay, best local journalist, and I was covering the Bucs. But this year I was actually nominated as the best journalist who doesn't work at Creative Loafing. So, and I'm up against some great people. I'm telling y'all, if you take
because you're not up against me. So,
L, you should be in there. But
I was messing with you, man.
No, I got you, brothers. But no, thanks for letting me come in here tonight. I know Pete didn't want to let me in here, but no, I don't want to. I want to have a good time. And you want to talk football, L? You know where I'm at.
Yeah, you know where I'm at too. So. I mean, I think in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably people have me on more talking about football than the low league.
Yes, yes, definitely. All right, El Bushman, appreciate you. The Rays Rewind podcast. Thanks for coming on the Evolution. All right.
See you, fellas.
All right, there you go. Good stuff. All right, we'll come back to the shot. Okay, Harry, do you want to say something?
I was saying bye, Bush.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go out to the comments here. Phone lines are open. We'll go ahead and put that out there right there. You guys want to talk about the Bucs? Definitely going back to these comments from Todd Bowles talking about Sean Tucker. It certainly seems like, once again, they want to get him more carries. It certainly seems like that's going to happen, especially with, and I said this was a good thing, guys, when it happened in preseason. If there's anything good you could take out of the possible injury to Rachaad White, which again looks like they dodged a bullet with it because it's not a groin injury, it's a strain. You're going to get an opportunity to see more of Sean Tucker. Okay, well, that's good. Thanks a
Harry,
lot
that was you. No, hey, Pete,
I didn't know that he was referring to me. I thought he was talking to you, Ray.
Go ahead,
why
Ray.
wouldn't he be? No, I'll tell you what, Pete. The way he got off Rachaad, and Bucky Irving, he won this starting position because even last year the Bucs were respectful and they went with a lot of the introductions for the teams over at Raymond James were both Bucky and Rachaad in the backfield there, and because that's the way this organization's ran. You're not gonna. It's funny because I'm not gonna never say you're not gonna lose your position to injury, but the way Jason Light runs this organization, you feel like you've got a fair shot. And Bucky stepped up next year. He won his starting position. Rachaad came out last night, was looking Saturday night was looking just forget about it. And then, Tucker steps right in there. But I mean, at the end of the day, don't lose sight of the fact that it was the offensive line that was continuing to let both these guys get off. And that's also a good sign to see with your Buccaneers in the preseason.
All right, I'll get you out of here, Harry. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Sports Web.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. See you later. All right. Let me go out to the comments here really quick, and then we'll continue to go. Let's see here. Kyle Trask had a coming out party. Kudos to undrafted free agent Nick Jackson. Let's see here. Christopher Cole. The Cubs will be lucky to hang on to the wild card spot if they don't start playing better. Go out to Sandra Nagel, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web, the great Go Bucs. Absolutely Go Bucs. Thank you very much.
Wait up, Will Bucs. Wait up.
Thank you. All right. Mike D. Roche. I hear Bushman say Rays are done. Lamar, Aloha, Bushman. Mike D. Roche. I hear Bushman talk about how the Rays are done. I'm Minnesota fan. When a Minnesota Twins fan, they trade away 40% of their team, and I feel your pain. Rays fans, absolutely, they did. Eric, look, pitcher, we trade to good other teams. Eric, we should have kept Randy. I'm going to say it again. Peter, how was the day at work, brother? Great. Awesome. Rays are not making the playoffs. We know, Bobby. Appreciate the comment. Let's go out to Eric. Let's get ready for football season. Hockey season is coming up. Get rid of the people. That's why they're at it, I guess. Trask to hoist the Lombardi, says Pat Williams. Okay. Can the Bucs make him the OC now? No, they're not going to do that. Peter had a bad Monday at work. I'm good. Classy show calling people idiots. I didn't call you an idiot. He called you an idiot. But yeah, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs. That's what we've been talking about here. Jim Gruden is a lot of fun. Great coach, but he was clearly made racist, homophobic remarks. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not going to get into it. Harry raided Magnum PI's closet, apparently mustache and all. Laugh out loud.
He looks good, though.
I was really impressed with Jacob Parrish this past Saturday. Had 2 good pass breakups. I definitely like his potential in the defensive backfield. Lamar, Aloha Ray, I dig the long sleeve throwback. The Marine right there, Ron, says Jim Melvin, they were not racist, so you're inaccurate in saying that. Do you think our starters will play in the next preseason game? Do you think Teddy might get a series or 2? We don't know yet because Todd has said some starters are going to play, some starters may not play. So you're not sure at this point. Who knows? And then let's go out to Nicholas Kosmides. Which running back is now going to pass block and chip the left side protection? Len has 2 really good pass rushers now.
O'Keefe.
I don't know. You tell me. You're the genius. You know everything. I would think that it would be Bucky Irving, and it would also be if White, if he's healthy, and of course Sean Tucker. So what do you think about the running back situation at this point with the Bucs, Tampa Bay Ray?
Well, Rachaad White's, the way it popped, the way he kind of kept on it, got to the sideline. We saw him trying to wrap the loose saran wrap around him, and they were having a hard time, which I was wondering what the saran wrap, they had it going. There was no heat or ice in there. So I don't know if they were just trying to wrap it, tighten it up because Rachaad felt like he had a problem there. But really, let's flip it around. It's not that I can talk, for a while about the running back and what Grizzard's going to be doing here with this new offense with the Buccaneers in 2025. But I mean, that was probably one of the only negatives was last night's or Saturday night's preseason game was that, that Rashad popped up real quick. He came up on it. But, it didn't look like a Mike Evans thing where it's going to be a lingering thing in camp and all. So as far as our backfield goes, our running backs, I'm just glad we're all going to have a shot to go ahead because we're implementing an entire new offense here this year.
Yep, you're absolutely correct about that. You're implementing a new offense, and the Bucs did sign, because we get off the Rays here, Chase McClellan. So they do have some running back injuries there, and then they also signed Javian Farr, played college ball at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Division II football program. So he'll have an opportunity, 4 seasons, 46 games, 99 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, 21 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and a defensive touchdown. We're awaiting Leo Haggerty to come on here.
Well, Pete, don't forget the reason why you bring these running backs in here late. It's not just because Rashad came up late Saturday night, but No, but the fact of the matter is you still have 2 games in 11 days. The last 2 games of your preseason at Pittsburgh. And I mean, so you need bodies back there because your starters are probably going to see very minimal, if any time on Saturday night. And then next week, what are they going to do? So, but these young guys also have a chance to make some tape. So the Bucs are going to go out and find guys that they figure are going to fit their system or their kind of aggressive styles. And that's probably with this preseason. We used to always complain about they made us play full price for these preseason games and why. And it's funny because back then we didn't have the type of team the Buccaneers have today. This is before 95. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is where some of these preseason drama or these stories are made, is where these young guys bring in here. They bring them in because they fit the system. These guys might perform. They make the practice squad. No one else knows about them. And then maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we find them, fighting for a starting position with your Buccaneers.
All right, let's go out to Curtis here using a second call. What's on your mind, sir?
Ray, I definitely agree with everything you just said. And I'm going to tell you, the one thing I love about this running back room is that the Bucs are using these guys as a committee. They really are. And I feel like in today's NFL, your receiver room should be deep and your running back room should be deep. I mean, everybody's not going to have a Saquon Barkley. Everybody's not going to have a Derrick Henry. But, you got 2 or 3 different guys that are great at something. I mean, Bucky's great at something. Rashad White's great at something. Sean Tucker's great at something. And I love our running back room.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna like it. You gotta hope you stay healthy, and that's the big time thing. And yeah,
and that's the other thing about having running backs by committee, because guess what? You 3-4 running backs deep, and you got 3-4 decent running backs. I mean, somebody goes down, you still have 2 other people that you can depend on.
And plus, don't forget. I was gonna say, don't forget, we're looking at how are these running backs relating to the new Grizzard offense and how that's going to be called. And even though, because that's the thing about the preseason, Curtis, we're like, okay, going back, this is Bucs fans going back years before this currently established offense, which is just kick ass. But we're like, okay, how much are they showing in preseason? But yet we're seeing guys that they're putting them in positions to make plays or do things that show them how they continue to push toward what the Bucs are trying to do, and that is continue to have an aggressive running game. And that's exciting because Saturday night we saw that.
And I haven't been this excited about our running game since Doug Martin and LeGarrette Blount were in the backfield together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call that. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what other year can you name? We had this amount of talent.
Well, it's Doug Martin and LeGarrette Blount. I don't think LeGarrette Blount and Doug Martin were in the backfield together.
Yes, they were 1 year, Pete.
No, it was 1 year, Peter.
Are you sure? Because I don't think so.
Martin's rookie year.
I think that's the reason why you draft Doug Martin in the first place, is because
that was his rookie year, and I think LeGarrette Blount left after that year.
Well, LeGarrette lost out.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure of this.
Listen. I believe you, and I know you're a stats guy, and I know you're going to go look it up later. So we're going to find out later either way it goes.
Yep, that's it. We're
That's
definitely.
how Pete do.
That's it. Absolutely.
I'm going to say this. This is what I just want people to understand. this team has pretty much shown you who they're going to be. They're going to go out there and they're going to fight their behinds off for Todd Bowles because they believe in Todd Bowles. Baker Mayfield is the quarterback that the Bucs needed. So, like me, anybody else who didn't believe in Baker when he first got here, we're going to all eat crow because this is the kind of guy that this team needed. He's going to put the team first. He's going to put the team on his shoulders, and he's going to do whatever it takes to go out there and try to get a W.
Oh yeah, Curtis. But Curtis, hold on, Pete. If you're lining up a date for afterwards on Tinder, we're good. But I can hear every text, every character.
All right. That's all right. Go ahead. Keep
Okay,
on.
no, but Curtis, I 100% agree because what you said, Curtis, this Buccaneers team has shown you what they're going to be.
Wait a minute. Says the guy that had terrible sound the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks he had terrible sound. You're gonna. I'm trying to produce on air. But go ahead. Go for it.
No, I'm good. I'm done. But I agree, Curtis, that this Buccaneers team you just encapsulated. We have two games to go over the next 11 days, but you just encapsulated what I felt coming out of Saturday night's game. It wasn't that Kyle Trask got lucky or, Jaden McDaniels is pissed off because he might lose his job or, what's going on. His team played great, but this Buccaneers team, one of the great things we've seen about a team that's won division 4 years in a row, going for 5, is that we've shown you who we are.
Yep.
Try and stop us, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I love because that encapsulates this what I saw Saturday night.
And I'm gonna just say this: people don't understand. Without those major injuries on defense last year, I feel like we would have beat Washington.
Yeah,
we would. I mean, they have, and me and Peter talked about this earlier, Ray. And I don't know if you hear. They have finally. It feels like they have finally put a defense together since the Super Bowl that they believe in can compete against any team in the NFL. Because yes, Jacob Harris, that kid looked good, and I'm waiting for Benjamin Morrison to come in because I can't wait to see what this kid is going to be like.
That's a disappointing thing because Morrison is not going to be ready. He's not going to play any of the preseason. So you're.
Well, the thing is, though, Morrison, second round, he's on this team. I mean, they didn't draft him in the second round because he was going to lose his job in camp. I mean, best ability is availability, but this kid made this team. Let's make him right and let's let him continue to morph into what we're seeing this Buccaneers defense so far putting in or implementing. So yeah, I mean, you're right, Pete. You got to get him on the field. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I remember the reason why the Bucs drafted this kid. I think he's going to be okay from what I've seen so far.
Well, if he didn't have all the injuries, there was a lot of people said that he was going to be a first round pick.
Yeah,
if he didn't have a lot of injuries.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's just like that was just like the guy. Oh God, what's his name? Who did the Eagles take in the first round this year? Campbell.
Jahad Campbell, the linebacker.
Yeah,
yes.
Everybody thought he was going to drop to the second round because
the rich get richer.
Right.
And this guy looks like he's going to play week 1.
I mean, Howard Rosebloom just continues to do it. You got to love that guy.
Yeah.
He does. He absolutely kills it. But going back to what I was saying about Morrison, he's already hurt, so he's going to be behind the 8 ball. That's disappointing because he was having a good camp, and you expected him to challenge Jamel Dean at this point once he gets injured at the end of it. So yeah,
you know what, Peter? A couple of weeks ago, I will specifically remember saying you said this out of your own mouth, and you said that you were expecting Jamel Dean to possibly have a breakout year because he, more than anybody else on this defense, has the most to prove.
Yep,
he does. And you know what? If he steps up and he does his job, and we're deep on the defense. I think we're deeper on the defense than we've been in a very long time.
Curtis, if Jamel Dean steps up and does his job, then not only do we get our 5th consecutive division title, but we're looking to go long in the NFC playoffs, if not to the Super Bowl.
Maybe we'll be where Dak Prescott said the Cowboys are going to be in the NFC.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Curtis, appreciate the call. We're going to get out to Leo here in just a moment. All right.
Yep.
All right. Ray, appreciate it, man. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to go out to Leo. Thanks a lot, man. Okay.
All right, Pete. See you.
Yep. See ya. All right. So let's get out to Mr. Leo Haggerty. Mr. Leo Haggerty, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Your general initial thoughts on the Bucs win against the Titans on Saturday night, 29-7.
It was a lot closer than that score was, Peter, and you and I know it because we sat there. It was, I think, 16-7 with what?
Yeah.
5 minutes to go.
Yep.
So, and I asked Coach Bowles after the game. I said, "Hey, you hold a team to single digits. That has to be good." Oh yeah, he said, "Nope, we don't turn the ball over. We do this, we do that.
Yep.
Everything's fine." So yeah, it was a nice win. And let's be honest right now. Is this a good team? Yes. This is a good football team.
Right.
Is it a playoff caliber team? Yes. After that, you got to say if they stay healthy. That's the key prerogative before you go on. Because Jamel Dean's a perfect example. Breakout year. If he can play 17 games, that's a breakout year because we know what he can do when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, staying healthy, especially for defensive backs.
It's already been kind of the problem already with this team because I believe they dodged a bullet there with Rashad White being day-to-day with the groin injury. It's just a strain at this point. It looked a lot worse. And then on top of it, not having Benjamin Morrison, you're not going to have him through the whole preseason there. They did get back Tez Johnson. They did get back Cade Otton in practice today. So both of those players, I think, are major parts of this offense, especially in Otton. And I'm curious to see, when Tez Johnson is going to play. But, going back to that, do you think Todd Bowles will play because his starters this week? Because it's been said, I play some starters. I won't play some starters. I mean, how do you approach this? Do you play your starters this week? Do you wait until preseason game 3? I mean, how would you approach this with the Bucs and their starters these next couple of weeks?
I don't think you'll see the starters this week, Peter. You want to know why?
Why is that?
During practices, they get more out of that than they do the game.
Right.
Because it's ones going on ones. And that's what I think you're going to see this go to, is that joint practices are going to be where your ones are playing and your 2s and 3s are going to play in the exhibition games. I can't call them preseason. They're exhibition games.
Right.
Now, when Buffalo comes in, I don't think that's a joint practice. That's when I think you'll see the ones play. It's that last preseason game. How long? I think that's going to be one where the coach asks, "Hey, how long you need?" And they'll go from there. I guarantee you, 6 isn't going to play behind the second and third offensive line.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah, I mean, again, let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Brandon says, Peter H. Blake, A++ as usual, sir. Thank you again for coming on our show. By the way, absolutely. Thank you for having me. And let's go out to David Moser. I was pretty happy with the victim of volume and a playoff Lenny. I mean, yeah, it was definitely good until Ronald Jones is that top back at that point. I think he's like only 15 yards away from having 1,000. But he gets hurt, and then, of course, playoff Lenny takes over. So you just never know with that injury situation, but you're exactly right. It comes down to the injury situation. I was very worried, speaking of the injury situation, because the Bucs have already had that with David Walker losing him, because I thought he would be a big part of their rotation, especially when it comes to getting after the quarterback. I didn't see a lot out of Chris Braswell. Does that concern you? The first preseason game, are you concerned by it? Because here's a guy that's going to be a part of this rotation, big time expectations, second round pick, going against backups, and we don't see anything from this kid.
Well, Peter, I don't know what we're seeing and what we're not seeing.
Okay.
Because we're seeing guys on the field. We didn't see Bucky Irving at all.
Right.
Was there a reason for that? We don't know. We don't ask. Because really you want to see these kids that aren't going to be in the rotation. Again, there's a 53-man roster. I think 44 of these spots are already determined. Kyle Trask can go out and have 2 games like that in preseason. Guess who's starting under center? I'm sorry. Talk all you want about competition, but there's one place you don't want it, it's quarterback. You want your guy to settle in from day one, and the Bucs have that. And I think Kyle Trask realizes it. He's playing for the backup role. when you get up to number 44, maybe 45 through 53, now you're seeing if there's comparable talent that's going to cost you less. And that's the key. That's what, again, Shiloh Sanders may make this team because he's going to cost a lot less than keeping a different guy. And the talent is comparable. It may not be equal, but it's comparable.
It is. It is definitely comparable. So, again, I'll be curious to see because I want to see more out of this pass rush. And I get it. Everybody's saying it's first preseason game. But you got to start seeing something out of some of these players, like a second-round pick like Braswell. You didn't see anything out of him last year. He's only got 1 sack. He's got to make that transition, especially with the injury situation. And with, I get it, Hassan Reddick, Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Cansey, but it's time to see something from that guy, just in my opinion. What do you think of the John Gruden situation? Because that's been talked about, and I know you kind of go back with him. What do you think of that? It looks like a big time win by John Gruden because he's going to have his day in court, and they're going to have to. The NFL is going to try to appeal this. I've heard. What do you make of it?
One word: kryptonite. I understand what Gruden is doing, but do you really want it out in open court as to what he actually said on those emails? I mean, think of the worst thing he could have done to get his name taken off the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Now double it.
Right.
I saw it. You can't do that. I don't care if you thought it was a secure email or not. You don't put that out in print. You don't even say that. So, You know what? Have your day in court all you want. You had a better chance in Philly hiring Michael Vick as your quarterback as you will having John Gruden as your head coach.
Well, I still think he'll get a head coaching job eventually. He'll settle with the NFL.
Why?
I think he'll get a job with an NFL team. There's somebody out here that will be interested in him. That's the reason why he's doing.
For what reason? He won with Tony Dungy's people. Next question.
Well, to be fair though, Leo, he also how many free agents did they pick up in that process? 22 free agents offensively. He did have that offense going well with Brad Johnson, Joe Jaravicius, Keenan McCardell, Keyshawn Johnson. I get a lot of people say he won with Tony Dungy's defense. Yeah, but Tony Dungy's defense couldn't win with Tony Dungy's offense. That's why Tony Dungy isn't with the Bucs anymore. That's why John Gruden won a Super Bowl in the first place. I get it. There are some downsides to John Gruden, but I still think the upside there will be a team that will want to go after him because of his offensive acumen, because of his attitude, because of him relating to players these days. I think that's the reason why he got into Barstool in the first place. Nick Jackson, what did you think of his performance the other night for the Bucs?
Underwhelming, maybe.
Nick Jackson? He had 6 tackles. No. He led the Bucs defense.
Huh?
Nick Jackson, the undrafted free agent linebacker, he had 6 tackles. He had 1 sack, and he had an interception.
Yeah, but again, all this, Peter, happened at the end of the game when Tennessee is trying to do things. Now, great. He had 6 tackles, he had an interception, but, we're talking about a guy who's probably not going to make the team.
Yeah.
People, I don't say that disrespectfully. This team is loaded at the top end.
Right. 1
through 44, you can put that team, that's a top 5 roster, period. So, we're talking about guys who are going to play well with other teams. That's the scary part. I think, Peter, we brought this up the other day, that there's going to be some good players that are going to end up somewhere else because there's just no room here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid Shiloh Sanders may, because they're going to try to put team players on the practice squad. They'll get scooped up.
Yeah.
Because there's film out on these guys. I think Shepard is going to be a perfect example. I think he's in the numbers game with the wide receivers.
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely one of the things you have to look at, although it helps with, Tez Johnson not being in the lineup. A guy that stepped up the other night was Ryan Miller. Talk about his game. Again, it's a preseason, but 6 catches, 66 yards. Really came through, especially on the throw from Kyle Trask when he's getting pressure in his face, and he throws the ball to Miller. I mean, that's impressive. Everything that Kyle Trask threw his way the other night, everything that was thrown his way the other night, he caught. So talk about his game.
And you know what, Peter? I just said Jackson was underwhelming. Miller was overperforming because he's catching the ball when the game was still on the line.
Yeah.
Again, I don't even know how to pronounce the guy's last name who had the pick 6. Roman, how do you pronounce that?
Pierogi. It's not Pierogi. I was going to say Pierogi. It's Pierogi. And he wasn't in practice today. He was hurt along with Bryce Hall. So that's not necessarily good. That's the reason why the Bucs signed a corner in the first place. So Pierogi.
And the worst thing is, Peter, he makes the splash play.
Yeah.
But he's in a numbers game.
Right.
It's good for these kids individually because they're putting stuff on film.
Yeah.
You cannot discount a guy made 6 tackles and 1 interception. You can't discount a guy who got a pick 6. The problem is, where are they on the depth chart?
Yeah.
That's the problem. It'll help them make the 90-man.
Right. We're going to finish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But from there on, now, who gets hurt? You got to stay healthy. I mean, look at what happened to the Eagles. Okay,
Yeah.
Missy Becton leaves on a free agent contract, and now they lose their other guard.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down. You're talking about, and this could be season ending for him. So, now they got to plug in 2 guards, not just one.
Right.
And again, we talk about injuries. 2 things, Peter. Look what happened in the Lions-Falcons game. They couldn't play on anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's how gruesome that injury was. And the second, how about the guy in Jacksonville kicking a 70-yard field goal?
Yeah, that's impressive. Speaking of kicking, it looks like the Bucs have finally found a punter. Let's see here with his performance. Riley Dixon, he's I believe he had a 53 and a 42-yard punt, or 53 and a 57-yard punt for the Bucs. I'm trying to look here. But that's been a big story. A lot of people will laugh about that, but that's a big part of Todd Bowles' defense. That's a big part of this team with special teams. It's all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So finding a punter, how important is that for this Bucs team, in your opinion?
Crucial.
Yeah.
Crucial. You got to flip the field.
Right.
And that's what it does. It flips the field.
Right.
Again, you got to have a guy who's going to, net somewhere in the low to mid 40s.
Yeah.
And Peter, I am going to repeat this so people can hear it twice.
Yes.
The punt is an offensive play. Now, listen, folks, put your hand over one ear if you want that to shake around a little bit.
Yeah.
The punt is an offensive play.
Yeah.
Now
and
you got them covered.
Right. And 3. Yes.
That's huge.
3 punts for 147 yards, 49-yard average. You'll take that all day long, which is
twice on Sunday.
Exactly. All right. Let's see here. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Bucs defense is going to be absolute beast. Even if they just play average defense, they will win 11 to 12 games. And Christopher Cole, Bucs really like the Josh Williams kid too. Problem is, can't stay healthy. Again, it's about availability. He's not able to stay healthy at this point. So you're not sure what you're getting from him. I'll go ahead and wrap this up with you, and then we'll get you out of here for the night because I'm just going to end the show. Tyreek Hill. It's been reported that teams are monitoring the future of Tyreek Hill. This from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. I've talked to a few teams who at least are monitoring his future a little bit. Could he be a potential trade target now? I know the Dolphins early this summer were telling teams, no, we're not trading Tyreek Hill, but they're just wondering, is he going to be available? It could be wishful thinking. Maybe they want him to be available, but he's a player. When I bring up to teams, hey, he is sort of a trade target you're watching. They bring up Tyreek Hill. So we'll see. He's a big option for Tua. That would be a major move if they do move away from him. What's the value for Tyreek Hill? Because he is still supremely talented, but also the attitude on the field and off the field. Do you buy this? Would the Dolphins actually consider trading Tyreek Hill before the season starts to hurt this offense, hurt this team overall? Do you buy this?
Well, again, Peter, we don't know what's happening in the locker room. We don't know what's happening with negotiations with contracts and that. But the player can almost make it where the franchise has to trade him because he's becoming such a problem in that locker room.
Yeah.
Again, everybody talks about, well, you got to play your contract. I mean, they can make life miserable for a team.
Yeah.
And that may be happening because you can force a trade. Micah Parsons is probably getting close to that point.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem these guys got is, Micah Parsons still has a year left on his deal.
Yep.
And, I know you say the guy overperformed his contract, whatever, but you know what? He signed it. No one put a gun to his head.
Right.
And I can't believe you don't, instead of taking, if you think you're going to be able to play in this league, why take a 4-year deal? Take a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
And then take that second year, or have it in there, player option, team option, whatever. 3 years, team option. But honor your contract. I get it, well, I overperformed it. Well, God love you. Make you a franchise player. You're never going to have to work another day in your life if you keep that money where it's supposed to be. And Texas has no state income tax. So, we're talking about guys that are making millions.
Yep. Very true. All right, my friend.
It's hard to feel sorry for him, isn't it, Peter?
It is. It absolutely is. But that is the way of the business, my friend, the way of the world. Leo Haggerty, the legend. We appreciate your time here on The Evolution. All right?
Peter, we will talk Wednesday, and we got Mike Simsack coming on to talk about the Steelers.
Sounds good, my friend. Appreciate you. All right?
Take care, brother.
All right. So we'll get out of here on that. We'll read this comment, and then we'll get out. Too expensive, too much baggage. Agree with that. Thanks a lot to all the guests of the night. Al Bushman, Harry the Greek, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, and of course, Leo Haggerty. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Do 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Have a great night.